Hey, what's up everybody? My name is Erick Sackhoff and welcome to my FPV park. You may recognize my last name. My sister, my little sister, she does some pretty cool stuff in her life. So I guess, first of all, I should talk about what I fly. So I fly at the park with a crew of guys that I've been hanging out with for a long time. You may recognize some of the names: James HESTER, PDevX, Shane SAVIERS, ATEC FPV, Antonio YORBA, Speediest Weasel, and then a few other good guys. I primarily, if we're gonna talk about what I primarily fly Tony's prototype frame. It's a 5-inch with a full air unit, but I'm about to swap over to his new frame, which is the Burnside. It uses a Cadix. It's a lot lighter for carrying a full-size GoPro. This is the frame that most of the guys have already switched over to. ATEC is flying, Tony is flying, Vizzy is flying. All right, so let's go take a tour of the property. So primarily the tools we use are ladders, screw guns, and everything. I also have an excavator and a tractor that we use a lot for hanging obstacles and just moving brush and stuff. I use a professional grade pole saw that I can get up about 30-40 feet for pruning up all the tree limbs. This whole area was overgrown with everything. I've dropped a bunch of trees. I rented a skid steer with a mulcher head to mulch out all the undergrowth. And it's been a work in progress for about, I'd say, 2-3 years now. Yeah, a lot of work, a lot of excitement, good time. So this is the first obstacle we built. Me and Shane, ATEC, built this in, I don't know, a few hours. It's roughly 6-foot gaps made out of 4x4s and plywood, and it was just a beginning, like a good start. The second obstacle that we built was the wall. This is a lot larger than it looks on camera. It's 5 sheets of plywood, so basically 8 foot by 20 foot. I believe the bottom is about 16 feet off the ground, and it was a learning experience. If you ever build a wall like this, one end has to be free floating because of tree movement in the wind, or it will pop bolts. Lessons learned. Soon to come after the wall was the dive gate behind the wall. It gives lots of options for tricks around the wall, Matty flips into dives. You may have seen PDevX do some crazy backwards whatever, going up, some backwards mind melting stuff going up and down the dive gate around this wall. Trippy spins to dives, lots of different options. So the whole farm I bought about 5 years ago. It's about 32 acres. I spend most of my time just maintaining and working all around here, trying to get my pilot's license right now, so that's been filling a lot of my time. I'm gonna join Captain Vanover as an actual pilot. Plane pilot. So this is ATEC's bicycle rack. It's a little tight for my taste, but it's pretty impressive how fast that guy will go ripping through that thing. And it's lined up perfectly with the wall, so you can do nice combos off of this into the wall. So this is a fun little obstacle. We used to call this the finger trees until it blew down in a storm, and then we just put a small little gate on it. I like to blast my quad into it at Mach 10. These are a couple fun little gaps that are cool to do little combos in off the gate. It's nice tight little gap down here. Yeah, it would be fun to have it just spinning. So this is the treehouse. It was on the property when I bought it. It couldn't have been a better FPV obstacle. A couple of things that we did to it to just ideas I had. One was the gate underneath the bottom. Another one that we all did was hanging the flat area on the bottom of the treehouse so we could do ceiling taps and stuff. It's really open. It allows for lots of options with power loops and Matty flips from all different directions. It's eaten more than 1 or 2 quads in its life. few little things I've done as far as opening things up was to open this hole up. It's another nice little tight gap that comes through there. I also have a bunch of nice little dives through the trees that are, where's my good dive? This is one of my more favorite dives. Been working at trying to, that's one of my favorite dives. I like elevating real high and then coming down backwards through it. It's pretty fun, pretty exciting, a little sketchy coming through all the trees. So I built a bunch of bike jumps. We ride bikes around here a lot, dirt bikes, mountain bikes, all sorts of stuff. So I've added bike ramps for a little bit of color, a little excitement. They're pretty fun to blast with the drone and then combo into this nice big slow sign right here. Just a reminder, watch your speed. All gates on the property are about 4 foot in diameter. They are about 1.5 feet spaced, all made out of 2x4s that have been ripped down, so they're like 2x2, leg bolted into the trees. One of the next obstacles that we built on the property was this big tower, which we call the Big Dipper. It's basically 8-foot gaps. It's made out of 4x8s, 4x12s. 4x8s. It's made out of 4x8s. 2 12-foot 4x8s stacked on top of each other with full sheets of plywood going around it. Looks a lot smaller on camera. It's big. Hanging this was super sketchy. Thank God for machinery. And then soon after that, we hung our second dive gate, which was a little higher, a little shorter, and open for lots of really cool options for trippy spins into the dive gate, reverse trippy spin, like just all sorts of stuff. Vizzy does some really cool stuff through that. It's pretty impressive. Vanover did some pretty cool stuff through it too. The next obstacle we built were PDevX's diamond gates. Quick little gate to build. Probably took us couple hours to build the gates in completion. They're 12-foot 2x4s in an X with another 2x4 creating the full diamond, and then 4x4s as cross bracing. They would be 6-foot gaps on all sides. And then after we finished the first one, we decided we needed to make a second one. Adds for some really cool combinations between power loops, Matty flips, all sorts of crazy things. These are some of the newer obstacles we built, so probably lots of creativity to come. In a storm, I had the fir tree fall over into the tree, so I decided to keep it and use it as an obstacle. Limbed it all up, cut the top out, trimmed the maple up, and now it's become a really cool feature that I really like playing with. We set that dive gate in the trees as a kind of a play off this tree, so we like to follow this tree up, cut the top out, and then you can kind of combo into the dive gate, combo into trippy, into the dive gate. Again, lots of options. Pretty cool. Nature makes some really cool obstacles. One of the newest obstacles we built, or the newest obstacle we built, is the curved wall. That was a little expensive. I did a metal frame out of 1x2 steel that I curved on a roller, and then framed the back with 2x4s and then sheeted with plywood. It's about the same size as the other one, 4x8 sheets, 5 of them, so 8x20. And then it's sank into the ground with 12-foot 4x8 pressure treated. And then I climbed the tree in front of it so we could get some nice trippy spins, combos off of it. And then I also climbed this tree back behind us so we could get trippy spins off that. That was my first trippy spin tree out here. Call it the trippy tree. Go figure. Yeah, right. Yeah, both.
It's like a work of art.
Yeah.
Is there a TV on the other side of that? Or what?
Yeah, would that not be? Yeah, it's the projector screen, right? Like we sit out here watching movies. Another tree I really like on the property is the big maple over here. I've spent a good amount of time pruning that out, shaping it. Everything I do out here, I keep FPV in my mindset as I'm doing it. Like, as I build this, will this be flyable? How can I make things that I have to build flyable for FPV. Like, it's constantly in my head. What can I build? What can we build? Form and function. This is one of the first videos that I've put on my channel. My video editing isn't the best, so I'm having my homie Pat editing for this video. The primary help I've had build this place would be Antonio YORBA, Speediest Weasel, Shane SAVIERS, A-Tech FPV, James HESTER, PDevX, David McLittle, Vizzy FPV, Cole Sanders, TJ Saunders, Michael Brinkley. These are all, this is like my little crew that I fly with most of the time. Weekends in business parks, or sometimes we hit up here. Can't always fly the same place, so you gotta mix it up. If there's anything you guys would like to see, let me know. Great other sources for videos are obviously A-Tech's YouTube page, PDevX's YouTube page. All their YouTubes and Instagrams will be down in the description if you haven't already seen them. We have Vanover, Captain Vanover has come out a few times. James is great at coming up with ideas. Shane and Tony are my go-to for building stuff. On the larger objects, it takes a lot more hands, so we get a whole bunch of guys together. We're hanging like the big wall and the big gate. There we get like just the whole crew together to hang that stuff. Yeah, it's been challenging and a lot of fun. Meow. Meow.
You wanted to be part of the video?
Yeah, this is Biscuits. This is the farm cat. She's in charge of keeping the place clean from mice.
Hi, Biscuits.
Treehouse is massive. I love the fact that this thing was here. People are like, oh, do you party up there? I'm like, no, I fly drones around it. One of my future goals is to basically eventually LED this entire place. I want to have LEDs wrapped up most of the trees. I want to be able to night fly all of it. I'd also, in the future, I'd like to possibly expand back, buy the next door property, expand back into that, make the park even bigger. We're always adding new trying to think of new obstacles. If you got any good obstacle ideas, hit me up. Always thinking of new things to build, design, build. What obstacles do we see in the wild that we could recreate and bring out here for practice? We also, I live in the country. Some of the great things about living in the country is burning brush and blowing things up. We like to play around with tannerite. I'll put like 1 pound bags of chalk powder on top of tannerite and we'll blow that up. It makes really cool effects that are pretty cool to fly around, fly through. Fires are always exciting to fly around and rip around. Got to watch those thermals.
Today in Erick's Sackhoff's house.
The excavator is also an unforgiving but fun obstacle to mess with. You might see some video of that in Vanover's new video he's putting out here soon. Normally in the wintertime, we'll fly down off the back of the house where it's a little warmer. I'll have the space heaters going and my winter pod set up, you know, gotta keep the nubs warm. Summertime, we like to fly up here. We got a bunch of benches set up and we've netted the whole area off for any stray quads, so nobody's taking a quad to the face. We all have seen pictures of what that looks like. It also keeps it a lot closer of a walk when you're crashing into stuff constantly left and right. Another thing I'll do is I'll keep the little 90 quads out here. Makes it a lot quicker to go retrieve your quad when you wreck it. Quad, you know what I mean. I have a bunch of really cool Madrona trees on the property. I really like trees. I like to prune them, shape them. I mess around with bonsai a bit. The Madrona are a really cool tree, thin bark, the way they peel. There's another big one back in the woods over there that is pretty beautiful. I like how the bark changes color. They have a really cool shape to them as well. So this is the larger Madrona. It's just real beautiful when they seed in the winter and when they peel their bark in the spring. Or when do they peel their bark? I don't know. I'm not positive. The bark peels and the trunks turn all green. It's pretty cool. A disadvantage to living in the country is poison oak. I'm constantly battling removal of poison oak here and there. I've had it a few times. Pick a quad up out of a pile of poison oak. It happened. One cool thing about living in the woods is there's guaranteed to be a lot of really nice knife edges all over the place. This is one of them. This gazebo was another thing that was here previously when I bought the house. It's overgrown with wisteria and stuff. I trim it up all the time to keep it flyable. It's a fun little obstacle to do combos off. Ripping through here, power loops, bunch of cool things. It's a little bit of a pain in the butt when you get a quad stuck up in the rat's nest on top, but you know, nothing a ladder and a stick can't solve. Walking around here is always like an Easter egg hunt. Just in the time we've been filming this is everything I picked up out of the woods. It's always fun, keeps it entertaining. So thanks for watching and coming along on a tour of my FPV park. Maybe you'll get a chance to fly it one day, or maybe this will help you build an FPV park of your own. I'd like to thank all the guys I fly with that have helped build this along the way. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe, do the things. If you want more video of the park and some other stuff, check out all the guys I fly with. They're all amazing pilots. Yeah. Cool, thanks.